Buenos dias. Okay. I think my water is finally ready for my coffee. I got a new water jug because my other one just kicked the bucket. Whew, I tell you, I'm at the point now I need to have coffee. Otherwise, I'm like, whew. I don't know why, my body just changes. Sometimes I'm fine, but sometimes it's like I need coffee. And then I bought this monk fruit that somebody said instead of the sugar. Hola, Robin. And it said, I need to look it up. I have it. Erythritol. So it's talking about a chemical name. I get a little concerned, right? I don't like artificial things. I do not like artificial sweeteners. But I do have a Splenda, which I'm used to using. And that's what I do. I make sure I always have water in here that has been boiled. And then I just pour it into a pitcher inside my fridge. So that's why I don't have to buy the big, I don't have to have water delivered to my house. I always have water, but I always have water bottles also for like emergencies. Usually I have to mix a little Splenda with it. But today I decided I'm not having any milk in it. So this is just a tad. Yeah, I'm still working on that unsweetened coffee. I don't know if I'm gonna make it. Anyway, how is everyone doing? We have a busy day today. We're making gumbo from scratch. And if you know gumbo, it's a labor of love. I always say you can't rush perfection, okay? I went to the store this morning because I didn't have any other seafood because I don't want to put sausage and chicken and all that in the gumbo like the regular gumbo has, right? So I wanted to do seafood gumbo. And I found out in looking at some recipes, they put chicken and andouille sausages in the seafood gumbo. And I'm like, it's not seafood if you're going to put chicken in it. So we're not doing that. We're not doing that. So I went to the store looking for some nice looking shrimp. I found some langoustine, and those are bigger ones. So we're going to clean them together because I want the shell from the shrimp to make a broth for the gumbo. And then I needed a bell pepper, I have onion and celery. That's what they call the mirepoix, the Holy Trinity. But everybody has their own version of gumbo. And then I had to go to the store to get some okra. Thursday, I was at a store, if you watched my last video when I did the tour, and we went to a fruteria, which is like a mini, mercado where you can buy food. And they had fresh, fresh okra. And I did not even think to buy some. So I went to the other store, Reba Smith, that I know it sometime that yesterday. That place is jammed on Saturday night. No okra. So I ended up buying a frozen bag for $5. It doesn't look too bad. So you will have to do, right? And then I found some blue crabs. So I got some Dapper Dan. Not sure what that is or who that is. So I got some crab. So we're gonna clean the crab, we're gonna clean the shrimp. And sometimes if you have a crab or two that's looking like, you know, you put it in there because you have veggie broth, right? You have chicken broth, you have beef broth, and you also have fish broth. We call that a fume. A fume is like if you have, you know, fish heads, fish spine, anything like that, and you add some veggies and you boil it slow, you make a broth. So this one, they always say the shrimp head and the shell, you put it in there also, and then you strain it, and that gives you a nice rich broth. So that is what we are about to do. But before I do that, I wanted to show you. Ooh, I've been walking around Panama and seeing these. This is supposedly a fruit called sapote, I think, sapote. And I was like, what is that? So while I was at the fish market, you know, inside the fish market now where I go, on the side of it, they're selling, you know, people are selling coffee. You know, you have the ladies who come around with their little cart because all the workers are there and they got to eat. And they sell, you know, empanadas and coffee and, what is it again that they call it? Shishame, which is that corn porridge, which is something that they eat in the morning. So they have all that going. And then somebody's selling lemons and all kinds of things, right? So this little guy, and this is a sapote. So I am going to cut into this and we're gonna see what it looks like a mango on the inside, but I've never had it, so we're gonna try it. It's my coffee too. It's okay. All right, let's see what that is. Okay. But you know me, I have to wash it, and then it turns a different color. That outer, whatever that was, and then it turns like this, right? Okay. So I'm gonna get a knife, and we're gonna see what that thing is. I have no clue. But I'm always on a discovery. Let's see. I don't know if it's supposed to be ripe or not. Ah. I said it looks like a mango, doesn't it? Or a cantaloupe. So I'm going to leave it on the counter space. Maybe it will ripen some more. Sapote. All right, let's see. There is a pit inside. It has the texture of a cantaloupe. Not quite like a mango. It's not really sweet. And there's a pit. It's sweeter on the inside. It's not only one pit. Oh, it's got more than one. Oh, that's good now. That's the size of the pit. Oh, it really tastes nicer inside. Hmm. Okay. So I'm gonna leave the rest out on the counter. I'll snack on that later. So it's got multiple pits like that. Sapote, okay. And it's not too sweet, which is good for me. Alright. So as I said, we're gonna get ready to make our broth. I'm gonna use this pot. I'm gonna put the shrimp shells in here. And I'm gonna put maybe a piece of celery and some bay leaves and a carrot and some garlic, you know, to kind of get the flavor going. So, are you guys doing okay? I don't think I worked too hard this week. I haven't had too many things done. I'm just dragging my feet to finish the Spanish booklet and to really get going on the cookbook. I'm just dragging. Don't be stingy with your garlic. And we're gonna put bay leaves also in the gumbo, of course. Alright. I got some celery that we call apio, A-P-I-O, in Espanol. Usually when I buy them at the farmer's market, they're like big bunch. So I'm saving the outer one because we're going to be using that in the gumbo. So I'm going to use the bottom part for my stock. And of course, very dirty. You got to make sure you wash it really good. I think I had a little bit of like a stem from broccoli that's been in here. We're going to throw that in there as well. Yes. If you're just trying to build flavor, so those, I always save them. So I get to use it today. There we go. Let's rinse those. Put water and let it start the broth. Now, I don't want to do too much gumbo because I have to use flour. We're going to be making the roux, which is what takes, the longest time. But I don't want to have that around for me to eat too much. All right, so I am going to put it on the high burner because I don't have to use it now. And we're gonna get started. All right. Let us go. Maria, ¿cómo estás? Happy Sunday. Yes. I walked to the to the farmer's market today. Not farmer's market. I walked to the fish market and then crossed the street and went to San Felipe, where I did get some chicken wings because I'm going to do. I bought the kale yesterday again because I'm in love with this kale salad now. So let's put this down so you can see me clean this langoustine, which is, look at the size of these things that we're gonna use. And in true form, I'm not using my, gloves and stuff. I don't do that. All right. And then in here, I found some blue crabs. You know what? I'm gonna subscribe to this music company so that when I'm cooking, I'll be able to have some music in the background that is not gonna be censored by YouTube. Look at that. As soon as I walked there and I said, oh my God, these are beautiful. Look at the crab. So it was like $3 a pound. So I got 2 pounds for $2.50 a pound. I got 2 pounds for $5. And then I need some regular fish to put in the gumbo. So I bought these. I bought 2 fillets. And then I said, is it corvina? He said corvinata. So, because you want something that has a little body to it. So I'm going to use one of those. And some of the crab. So, let's get going. Let's get going. And then remember, I need the shells for the stock. So let me find, you know what, I need some more bowls. I think I got some. All right. Let's get low. Let's get low. All righty. Let's see. Eso. So I found these bowls. So I'm all set. So I need the fish, I need the head. Whew. Yeah. Because I don't do crayfish where I'm going to be sucking. No sucking for me. No. Okay? But these are nice looking shrimp. Look at that. The reason I decided to get these because I know they're going to cook down. They're going to shrink, right? But boy, oh boy, they look good. So we're going to put all the heads inside my broth. Oh, the eyeballs are looking at me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So sorry. Remember that song? Also a little contraption that somebody has on how you just slice it over the shrimp. And then it takes everything off. They make it sound so easy. This was, one lady told me $5 a pound. But I walked around and then this guy was $4.50, I believe. So I bought 1.5 pounds. So it's nice. I think it's gonna be just enough. Wow, look at it. My crocky, that's a beauty. We had a nice live yesterday. If you missed it, you can watch it. If you're coming to Panama, this was a video for people who just got to Panama or are looking to relocate, because it was about how to set up your services, your utilities, your telephone, and some of the pitfalls, to avoid. So, ooh, the whisker is just in the way. My goodness, you don't have to be so big. Look at that. Look at the whisker. There must be a scientific reason. Maybe it guides them in the dark, in the dead of night. I'm sure somebody knows. Let's go down. Let's go down. Now you know I'm in my zone, right? All I'm missing is the music. And I'm gonna fix that. I'm gonna fix it. You know what? It's good to buy these because you don't have to clean too many of them. I like that. Langostino. When I was in school, they wanted us to use live lobsters to, like, kebab and put in a big old sharp, I don't know how you call that. While it's still alive, I could not do it. I said, I can't do it. But she just said, Maggie, if you don't do it, you're not going to pass my class. I'm like, well, we're going to have to see. Let me give it up to Jesus, because I cannot put that thing through a live animal. I'm not doing it. I think he took mercy on me. I was the oldest, of course. I was always the oldest in the bunch. And then you put a big old pot of boiling water and you throw them in the water alive? No. Maggie is a wuss about stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I can't do it. I feel like I'm committing murder. What do you mean? I mean, there were things I'm just not doing. I'm not eating raw fish. That's why I don't do ceviches. Some shows I watch, they say, oh, it's a crude, whatever. I'm like, well, you go ahead. I'm not eating raw fish. I don't eat raw oysters. I don't eat raw anything, okay? If it's an animal, I believe it needs to meet its maker first before. That's it. All right, I'm going to rinse these real quick and throw them in the pot. Remember, that's going to be part of my stock. All right? There's a lot of flavor that comes out of the shells. And some people even bake them and then put them in the broth. We're not doing that, but we're just going to put all of that in here. Ooh-wee. And the whiskers keep getting in the way. Where are my scissors? Okay. All right, so our shrimp, look how pretty they are. But you know, we're not done. We have to take the poop lines out. Poop line, they poop. That's what I said. Today's going to be a busy day because we're starting from scratch. Poop line. See, it's still in here. So you have to get to it. Poop. You gotta get it out. And some of them have it also on the back. This one looks good. But that's why when I go to a restaurant and I see that the shrimp is whole, I'm like, did you take the poop out? But I'm not eating it. I guess you could say if it's fried, doesn't matter, right? I'm just a little bit. I have to get it out, sorry. Yeah, like I said, some of the shrimp have it also in the back. Ooh, look at that. Yes. Okay. This knife is not working, but see? Yes. Look at that. That is another poop line. Ooh, yuck. Ooh. I gotta take the other two. Then we're gonna go in the front. Okay, this is better. I don't see anything in here. So it only had the back. Let's see. The back here. It's clean. Oh, this one is clean too. Isn't that weird? Some have it in the back and some don't. Just a little bit here. Oh no. This is a full line. Whoopee. This is fine. I didn't buy extra. Oh, yes. I smell the broth. Ooh. Okay. Ooh. My broth is overflowing, so I gotta turn the heat down. Yeah, my broth was overflowing. Last one. Alright. So we gotta get all our poop in the trash. Ew. See, you can't be too dainty when you're a cook. Because your hand's gonna get into some things and you're like, ew. But you know, when you're tasting something and it tastes really good, think about the prep the people in the kitchen who are cleaning for you. Keep that in mind. Alright. I'm gonna put a little bit of vinegar, clean it, and put it to the side. You don't want to put acid in it yet. And that's what ceviche is. When they put the lime juice and stuff, it starts cooking. And you're eating it half raw, half cooked. Alright, I think that's just enough for our gumbo. But I don't want to make too much. But I told you today to be ready because we're doing this from scratch, okay? Alright. Yes. Clean camarones limpios. Camarones limpios. That's what they say. They call the shrimp. Camarones. Let me have it. Next, we're going to attack the crab. Look how beautiful our crab. Let's see. I don't eat a lot of shrimp anymore because, yeah. Good morning, Julie. Oh, Julie. She's vegan. Oh, Julie's going to be feeling bad watching all this. Julie, cover your eyes. I need a trash bag to put some of the stuff in. And then this is one of those things, yeah, this whole thing is gonna go. Because that's why I don't understand when people eat, you know, like they fry crab. That means you're frying all this and eating all this? No, 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 no. Mm-mm. I can't do it. No puedo, no puedo. Es que no puedo, no puedo. And then I always break this in half. So. And then I clean it. And then we're gonna put that in the gumbo. At the same time, we're gonna put our okra in because the crab does need to cook, right? So I'm gonna do like maybe 4. Ooh, the whiskers are looking at me. Trash. Ooh, look at the gunk. All right, Julie. I'm sorry. This must be the lungs. I always wonder. I didn't carve one of those when I was in nursing school. They made me carve a frog, and I thought I almost died. I almost fainted. And then when I was pregnant, I was doing a nursing rotation, and they went to suction somebody who had a trach. I got sick and threw up. Oh, Lord have mercy. Yeah, I can't do certain things. That's why I told that chef, I said, I am not sticking that in that poor lobster. I'm not eating foie gras, which is, you know, fried fat. I'm not eating that. Maggie, you want to pass my class? I said, well, let's give it up to the Lord. And then I got 100 when we started talking about the different parts of the cow. I got 100 on that. And he said, look at Maggie, she owed us in the class, and she got, but you know, of course, this young kid didn't have a clue. But it was fun. Just talking about all the different parts of the cow. Now, don't ask me that now, I don't remember. Yeah, that was interesting. You know, the one part that was traumatizing for me, they showed us a video of how they kill the cows. Anything that has to do with killing animal, I can do it. I've never killed a chicken in my life. And that's not gonna happen now. So, ooh. And you know, and people who live in those jobs, it's just like nothing. I'm like, I couldn't do it. That's why I could not. Oh, look at that. There's only 2 more. I might as well just clean the rest of them, right? And I was like, there's certain things I cannot do. I could not do nursery, pediatric intensive care. Seeing little 2-pound babies on ventilators, I couldn't do that either. So I just stuck to adults. I said, I can't see children in pain, suffering. Whew. So, only 1 more. Yeah, might as well. not going to use all of them, but I meant to buy more, clean them, and put them in a. Because look at the size of this crab. You don't usually get that here. This is not easy. You're not going to find this at River Smith, okay? You have to go to the fish market to get it. So this trash is going to have to leave my kitchen pronto. You know, in the heat, you can't keep stuff like that inside your house. It's going to stink your house. So you take it to the dumpster, which is not, you know, it's not a dumpster. It's a big collector. And then it's like away from your apartment. You have to open a door, like going down the stairs, and then it's there. But if you have something that is kind of strong, yeah, the heat is going to make it come to life. We did it. Oh yeah, I made you suffer through it, but at least you learn. Crab. If you put crab in your stews, of course they cook fast, about 15 minutes for this to cook. What it does though, it gives up all that sweet taste to your food. So give it a try. If you've never added crab to your soups, if you're not allergic. I have a sister here who's super allergic, so she couldn't get anywhere near this house today because she would have to get her EpiPen. All right. So, we did it. Now remember, we have some fish that we're going to make sure everything is clean here. You don't have to do anything to the claws because that's part of the beauty when you're ready to plate. And I was thinking I could just rip a couple of those and put them on top of the food as a garnish. Yes. Oh, that is so pretty. Oh, we have some lungs. That's why you have to go do a do-over and look. See, I'm missing the music. In one of the recipes for gumbo, this chef in Louisiana had a thing this big of lump crab meat now. You know that's gold. You know she had to pay a pretty penny. And she's the chef at one of the most famous restaurants in NOLA, in New Orleans. She's at the Commodore, I think. Some of you might have eaten there. And her recipe, mine's gonna be a bit different. She put like some tomatoes in her broth. I'm not doing that. She has some crab in her broth. I'm not doing that. And she also added some white wine to the broth. And I'm like, no, I feel like that. Of course, she's in a restaurant, you know. When you're in a restaurant, money usually is not that big a deal because you have a budget, you gotta buy all this stuff in bulk. But for me, my wine, my Riesling, that's gold for me. So I'm gonna put a little bit of wine with my vegetables, but I'm not gonna put it in my broth. I feel like that's just risking it. So once we finish with the fish, we're gonna do our mise en place. We're gonna cut all our veggies and just get with the roux, because that's the one that's going to take a good 15-20 minutes to get the roux, okay? All right. Woo. I love it. See, that's why I said, don't cry for me, Argentina. Look at that, fresh crab. A bit of vinegar. Just have to sanitize it, right? I love vinegar just as much as I love garlic and onion. Now crabs, you don't need to marinate, to season. We just throw it in there and you're just gonna pick up the flavor of whatever is in the pan. So now the last thing we need to do is to get some fish that we're going to add to our, this is a seafood gumbo. So you have to have fish, right? Alright, so we're gonna go for that size. This today was like, was it like $3 a pound? So there was one fish I bought when I was doing my party that was $1 a pound. Today it was $1.50. So the prices at the fish market, it varies. But these people do hard work, dirty work. So sometimes I don't bother too much. I'm just grateful to get fresh fish right from the ocean. Okay? That's why. This sister said, do you only buy fish from the fish market? Yes. I don't buy frozen fish here. Oh, a little bit of bone there. Alright, I think I have to use the other one. It wouldn't be enough. And of course I love fish. So that is not drudgery for me. To get my omega-3. I don't know if this is a fatty fish or not. It's not salmon. But you're not going to find fresh salmon like that. Salmon here you're going to get is frozen. So this is how I'm going to do my gumbo. I see people make the roux and then they add all the vegetables in the roux. I'm not doing mine like that. I'm going to cook my vegetables separately on the side, deglaze with the white wine, and then bring it into the roux. And as I said, some people add chicken andouille sausages to a seafood gumbo. All over the internet. I'm not doing that. I'm a bit of a rebel on how I do my stuff. So, I don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Why should I? Alright. We're going to only the crab I'm gonna not cook. But I'm also gonna cook my fish separately and then put it in there. Again, with all my flavors. Now, 5 minutes before I'm ready to cook the fish, I am going to season it a little bit, with my acid and my garlic and my herbs. Yes. I don't do anything without flavor, you know that. If it doesn't have flavor, it's not mine. It did not come from Maggie's kitchen. You know that. Alright, now let's clean up a little bit here. I'm gonna clean my hands and get started with the veggies. My hands first. I have this soap that I got here that I absolutely love. It's got like earth and wood flavor, but I found it. You know what I say in Panama, now you see it, now you don't. I found it at that place and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go back and buy it. Of course, I couldn't find it. It is Voy, V-O-I, Savon Liquide, that's in French, liquid soap. It smells so good. But, couldn't find it again. Did not find it. So you clean your board with hot water. So you sanitize. Nobody's gonna get sick from eating my food. It's not gonna happen. Get a new towel. This towel. Alright. That's why I don't like to put nail polish on, because my hands are always in water. But these are called semi-permanente. So they make you pay a little bit more, so they're supposed to last longer. Alright. Let's come over here. This is my broth. It is cooking, simmering. Alright, we have my pot. That's what we're going to use for the gumbo. Alright. So now, we are going to get our mise en place. So, you're going to have celery, green peppers, onion. Those are the veggies that we're going to use, and the okra, right? So, let's see. So the celery and the pepper are gonna go together, but at the same time. Now I love cooking the leaves, but not today. Not for this recipe. And the dirt. I might save those for the next stock. Okay? Remember, we don't throw anything away if we don't have to. This morning, as I said, I walked to the fish market. Usually I walk to the bus or to the metro, but I got out and I was like, oh, I feel like a little breeze. This is nice. So I decided to walk. And when I was coming back, I did the same thing. It was still, and you know, I usually get stopped by somebody. I meet somebody, this lady and her husband. They're like, oh, I know you, YouTuber. I meet people all the time like that at the mall. So we're doing small dices. And of course, when you do this mirepoix, it's going to boost your flavor. This is really good, a really good veggie. And that is going to have to be cleaned really good because there's dirt in there. Little bit more. A little bit more. You can't be stingy with the celery when you're doing gumbo. So we're going to save those. And we're going to use this. So these are going to go back in there. And I'm going to save them for my next stock. Alright, don't fall over again. Ooh, it smells so good. You need that fish. And some people put fish sauce. Oh, don't do it, don't do it. I turned this down. All right. I had also bought some leeks. I absolutely love leeks. So I think I'm going to put a little bit in there. But this is my recipe, okay? Now the other thing I would have loved to put, but I don't want to spend all that money, is to buy some oysters. Oysters are really nice. And the lump crab meat, who can afford that? Not me. So we're not doing that. But, some people have gumbo or some oyster. Is it macaroni and cheese with the oysters? That's an expensive dish. I'm not doing that. All right, yep. Just the right amount of celery. All right, pepper. And they were $3 a pound today, which usually they're like $3.75 or something. So that was a good price. Now, I can't do the veggies while I'm doing the roux. The roux is one of these things you have to pay attention when you're doing it, and you can't stop stirring. So, I think I'm going to cook the veggies, cook the fish, put them to the side, and then get on the roux because I don't want to mess it up. If you burn the roux, you're going to have to start over. Start over! So, your attention, please. You cannot be distracted. I haven't read to see the origin of the gumbo. I know it's in Louisiana, but I'm sure it came from somewhere else. Somebody might know and tell me. Hola, Greta is here. Maria, yes. Now, Greta, I would give a bowl to my friend who's going to leave me. That would have been perfect for her. Now, I told you I love to have peppers in my house. They're like the most versatile thing. I can eat them cooked and I can eat them raw. And they're sweet. Yes. I don't think people talk about them in terms of their health benefits. But remember, you want color in your food. So peppers help you do that. with your eyes. And this particular chef said, we don't serve rice without gumbo. I don't know, I think she's trying to be different. I think to serve it, you gotta have some white rice. I was thinking some quinoa, but I think I'm gonna do like a little handful of white rice so I have enough to form that little bowl. And call it a day. You gotta be able to plate that correctly, right? Okay, all right, let's rinse that. This is what I'm gonna deglaze with the white wine. And I had to put my garlic and all kind of, and spice it up, and yeah, so it'll be ready. This is our broth in process, right? So we wanna get all the flavors from the shell. So that broth is we're gonna strain it. It's gonna be yummy, right? It's got garlic and bay leaves. Peppercorn. I forgot to put some peppercorn in there. Let's throw some peppercorn. Oh, my sister brought me cardamom from Morocco. I am so excited. Okay. Well, this is me adding a little bit of allspice and some peppercorn. Let's do it. And this is fresh cumin. The sister bought a big old bag, and my sister upstairs says, I'm not going to be using all that, have some. So I am so grateful. So grateful. Peppercorn. I mean, that's why I'd like to go to India and China, just to learn about the use of all that, and the teas in Japan. I was starting to change my mind about going, but who knows? I might still make it. Alright, so let's keep going. So now we do the onions. Lots of onions. Let's rinse this up. And remember, after you rinse vegetables that were a bit dirty, keep them in a bath so that when you are taking them out, you don't take all the water out so you don't bring up some of the dirt back in. Importante. Alright. This whole onion is gonna go in there. I need a knife sharpener, I really do. Because after a while, the chef's knife become a bit dull, and you get a little bit, you don't get the same, what's the word, performance? Performance out of them. I thought I had one of the thing too. To sharpen it. I really In the absence of that, they even have electric sharpeners. Iron sharpens iron. We're going to use this whole onion. And that's one of my favorite too. Did I say anything about onions in terms of health benefit? Because I use a lot of it. Onions and garlic. I always start with those two. Except if I'm cooking white rice. I think with the gumbo, the roux and the prep take the longest time. Once your roux is done, it's not that bad. Because we're just going to mix things in, bring it to a boil. And I'm using the cast iron, not the cast iron, the Dutch oven, and it cooks fast. So, alright. But I have my parsley, and I have my filet. And filet is only this leaves, sassafras. I can never read it. Sassafras. That's what they call the leaves. I have to bring this so I can read it for you guys. Because one sister said, you can make your own filet putting all this other herb. And no, it's not that. It is just this particular plant. You put it towards the end because it works as a thickener. But I'm like, I could use some cornstarch, but you cannot really have gumbo without saffara leaves. So I was just craving that, but now that I've ordered from Amazon, I'm sure I can find it there. Julie, if you're listening, I said, oh, my sister, she brought me one. Now, whoever's coming back, bring me more than one, por favor. Not that I make gumbo a lot, and the other thing that I'm missing is what they call Creole seasoning. I do not have that. But I do have some Old Bay, and for some reason I don't like Old Bay seasoning. I don't like the taste that comes out of it, but I think we'll be fine. We're going to cook a little bit of rice in this later on. Alright, so now we're going to cook our veggies, and of course, you know, I don't want them to be overcooked. This is for the flour. We need a little bit of onions. I need some garlic. So let's get my garlic going. I am looking to buy another skillet, but I'm going to get a full aluminum one. Yes. So I have to budget like $30, $40 for it. They are not cheap. Yes, yes, yes. You know, sometimes after I finish cooking, I'll go to a movie or something, but lately I'm like, especially I already got my steps in. I walk to the stores and back, so that's probably like maybe 3 miles. And then when I'm coming back from the store, it is like a workout because I'm carrying something on my back and I'm carrying something in my hand. So whenever it's like, you're working with weights, right? Yes. Hola, hola. La paella. Not para paella. Next Friday, some of the ladies and I are going um, to a presentation at a Spanish restaurant, and it's gonna be flamenco dancing with Spanish cuisine. And what I'm thinking we're gonna do is 10 of us. We're gonna probably share a large paella, maybe a seafood paella. They had an event here once, and then this restaurant, and I could kick myself. They had this black, the Spanish, they use like a black rice, and then they put all that seafood in there. Oh my God, it was divine. You hear me? I saw the rice in the store, but I don't know how else to do it. So, poquito de aceite. Aceite is oil. All right. As soon as I finish here, I'm going to season my fish and my shrimp real lightly because this is not going to take long. So I'm going to put a little bit, just enough so I can add my garlic, right? And the reason I prefer to do my veggies on here, I feel like when you saute, you're able to get the sweetness and the taste out of the food instead of throwing it in the broth. I don't want that. You know I'm a rebel, right? Okay, I think I said that. I like to do things my way. Can you see that? All right. So, again, you got to be real careful. Don't you burn anything. Otherwise, you see, I'm already smelling it. That's what you want. That's what sauteing does for you. And then I like to put my garlic next. And then that just brings it up. Then I can mix the rest of it. But before I do that, I'm going to season this. Okay? Okay, is that all right? Ooh. Yeah. Now I have to watch myself so I don't try to put some curry stuff in there or turmeric. I'm crazy about those things. No, you have garlic, pepper, paprika, adobo. I think that should do it. And of course, you're gonna add some herbs, yes. Not oregano this time. Just herbe de Provence and like some parsley. Yeah, don't go too exotic today. Now we can do some dry parsley, but I have fresh parsley towards the end. That's the thing too. They cut the parsley in those videos and then they just add it up, put it in there with all the other veggies. I'm like, no. No. Alright. Let's go ahead and put the rest because that is what we are here for. And we're gonna put our peppers and celery. By that time, if there was any dirt, it's going to stay at the bottom. and I'm not gonna pour it in my dish. I know, I'm a bit anal. That's why I say I can't work in restaurant. Restaurants are rushed, and I can't work like that. That's why when your food falls on the floor, they pick it up and put it right back in there. No. Yes, and of course, we're gonna need a nice, and you know what the lady did also when she was doing her broth? She put 2 whole lemons. She's like, it's gonna do something to the taste. I'm like, no. I add my lemon at the end just to freshen up the dish. Yeah. That's why I said sometimes I argue with those people. And I'm like, no, no, no. All right, let me get some, I'm gonna put this back in. Ooh, the tomatoes. I almost forgot the tomatoes. The little cherry tomatoes today was a little bag, and she's like $2. It used to be $1. And I'm like, no, I am not paying that. And she looked at me. I said, okay, see ya. Now this was $2. That definitely is more than a little bag of cherry tomatoes. That's what you do. Be ready to walk away. And sometimes it's not the vendor's fault. It's just the price of the product. But I don't have to have it today, right? I can wait till it comes down again. Oh. Oh, the other thing that they were crazy about in their videos is that Worcestershire sauce. Everybody's into, oh, yeah. And this guy said the W sauce. That's what he calls it, the W sauce. I'm like, okay, I got the W, and I got a big size this time. That we can find here. Thank you, Lord. That. All right, I'm gonna add the wine now. Because deglaze with the wine, there's not much to deglaze right now, but it's still going to tie in the flavor. Ooh, I have broccoli I need to eat. I got broccoli and I still have cucumbers. Let's let it cook a little bit more. Oh, that's my Riesling. Oh, that's gonna hurt. Putting that in there. I think I'm gonna keep my my leeks inside. Alright. What else are we ready to do? We are going to season our fish. Here's our fish. Little olive oil. I like to put a little bit of soy sauce in my fish and a little bit of sesame oil. I was able to find it. This is like $5 or $6. It was a bit pricey, but I like the smoky flavor. All right, salt, pepper, and a little acid. And some parsley. Riesling, not a lot. Oh, it smells so good. El olor, oler o olor. Oh, huele. Oh, so yummy. It smells amazing. Let me see what the taste is. Sweet. Poquito de sal. All right, as soon as it reduces a little bit, I'm gonna put it in a dish and then go with the fish. All right, so that's that here. We need some parsley. Remember, you got to keep up with what you're doing. Oh, too many spices in here. Cumin, comino. Oh, there's the parsley. All right, parsley, and also for the gumbo, they love using dry thyme. I just happen to have some. So we're gonna put some thyme in here and get the tongues and mix this up. And then we have the acid next. Okay? And of course, as soon as the fish get a nice caramelization and the taste is good, we can take it out because it's gonna finish cooking in the gumbo. So what else do I need here? Some acid. Alright, it's time to do a reset of this stupid stove. Ooh, look at that. I lost one. That's a big loss. Because I don't find, you know, they're usually really small here, you know, the lime. Lime juice. Perfecto. Alright. Our veggies are ready. I would love it to be a little drier. So we're going to put it in. Throw it in here. It's waiting to go inside the gumbo with the roux. You know, some people will not do that step. I'm just doing it myself. And you guys know when I cook fish, I always put some rosemary if I have it, and some butter, because it does something to the taste. That's Maggie's little trick, okay? And that's that, a little butter, and the Scotch bonnet pepper. The smell. Where's my Scotch bonnet? Oh my God. You know, whenever I start going down one, I'm like panicking. Where am I going to get the next one? Whatever fish I'm cooking, this is the way you do it. Because all that flavor from the rosemary comes down and it's a game changer. And you know, your fish cooks really fast. So this is not very thick. But, oh boy. And the shrimp is going to be like, itty-bitty rolls of boom, we're done. You know, I might even leave some of that for me to snack on tomorrow. Yeah. Okay. I think That's what you do. And you put it in your freezer, and then when you're hungry, you go in there and you're like, what do I have? You're like, oh, got some fish bites. So tomorrow, because I have arugula, I have kale, I have all kinds of greens. And you throw this in there with a little bit of panko, and then you put it in your salad. Alright. Now we're going to do the shrimp. Using some of that marinade, of course, why can't I? I can and I will. So you know what I've been forgetting to do is to drink my apple cider vinegar at night. I am so not disciplined when it comes to stuff like that. I forget. Alright, this is some sriracha. Now I fell in love with sriracha here too. I put it on almost everything. Alright, that, so we need a little bit of garlic. Don't have a lot. I don't know why I'm thinking about my piano. I used to dabble on my piano. I had a piano at home. That was another way I distracted myself. I wasn't good at all, but I love tinkering on it. It made me feel good. That's why I keep saying, find something that you love to do and do it. Do more of it. That's self-care. Ooh, that's a lot of liquid. You see all that water that came out of that fish? Wow. Very good. Show me the way. They have a series they're showing on the local television here that is also on Netflix, but here it's in Spanish. Maria la Caprichosa, the capricious Maria, but on Netflix it's called something else, Destiny something, I think one sister told me. It is such a nice story, you know, even though they show the struggle as Afro-Panamanians, and they were in Cuba, and the struggle continued, right? All right, let's put that in there. Can't get away from the garlic. Can't get away from the garlic. What did I put in there? Did I put any? I don't remember. I know I don't see the paprika. Pepper. I think this this is a nice tending in since I can't find a grinder. This works. And parsley. Show me the way. You don't want your fish to disappear in the gumbo. No, 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 no. So this fish, the way it is here, is going to go in pretty much towards the end. Because I do not want. So you see this broth here? I'm going to put it in the veggies because I don't want to lose that. But I don't want my shrimp to start with this. Uh-huh. Gotta think. Okay. All right. Starting from scratch again. And we're gonna try our rosemary again to flavor our shrimp. This is Maggie's little trick. A little bit of butter. Now this is good New Zealand butter, okay? Now you notice I did not do I did not season the fish too early, right? Because you don't need to do that. 5 minutes, that's all you need. Now there isn't that much shrimp all that's gonna go in there. I love shrimp, I do. Woo. It's gonna be so pretty. All right. Oh, one more. Excellent. Let me get a snack. All right. Let me see who's here. Who's still here? I warned you guys, it's gonna be a big one, a long one. You love leeks. I do. It's great in soups, right? We're making gumbo, seafood gumbo. I know, that was very ambitious. I haven't made gumbo in a while, but I got my broth here. When we're ready to put it in, we're gonna strain it, but with the fish heads, so it's gonna be yummy. How to clean a crab, do you see that? Yep. But the thing is, I don't get to see them that often. I was just, it's like, oh, you know, of course I wanted to get more, but I'm thinking my freezer, how much? And what I do, because these were just beautiful, they were the right size, and it was like $2.50 a pound. And you know, I'd rather clean crab than fish. I do. I'd rather clean crab than fish. Because they are not, they don't take that long. Once you separate the shell, you're home free. So, Now these are langoustines, so they're a little bit thicker. So we're gonna let them cook a little bit, okay? We don't want, I don't like raw fish. And of course you can have ceviches with shrimp. I don't do ceviches. Alright. I must say, and my body is addicted to coffee. I need some caffeine. I was like, yeah. So now, what time is it? It's almost, I'm not going to tell you what time it is because I kind of told you to be ready. Get your drink, get your, not wine, it's too early. But some tea, some coffee, because it is a labor of love. It takes time to make gumbo. And I cannot cut corners. I'm not going to buy a box of, like I said, I was looking at I had the paella from a local restaurant. It was so good with the black rice. And then next to it in the store, they say paella mix. So they have a mix of something to make you get the paella taste. Well, it's all fake. Anything that comes in a box, it's not natural. And I'm not tempted to buy it, no. Same thing happened when I started making curry. I found this Japanese curry and it was like a little cube. But when I read what's in it, the thing of all the stuff that was in it was this long. And I'm like, no. You put too many things in your bodies that you can't spell. And you never want to overcook shrimp, right? It's going to be rubbery. So I'm going to take those out. And it's time for the roux. Oh my goodness. Alright. So. I'm just going to throw the crabs in here just because I want them to get all the, the taste. The marinade. Not that I need to cook the crab, but I don't want to throw that away, and I don't want that raw marinade in my veggies. No. And then we're going to let this sit here and wait till we're ready. The crab will need about 15 minutes to cook inside the roux, the mixture. Nice clean crab, that looks so good. Yes, okay, let me put that back. I just threw the crabs in here and the rest of the marinade from the shrimp, I just poured it over. And then just, not that we're cooking the crab, I just didn't want to get, lose the marinade. Alright? Look at that. Ooh. When I make legume, with the eggplant, you throw some of that in here. I wish I had bought more. I would have put it in the freezer, clean it up, and put them in baggies so that I can use them because this was a treat today. I don't usually get pretty crab like that. Alright, so now we are getting ready for our roux. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And that is where the work begins. Alright. Well, that's dangerous. Let me take that out. Now, one thing about making the roux is that you need your oil to be really hot. And olive oil does not have a high smoke point. So it kind of burns because olive oil is best used cold. Did you know that? Like in salads and stuff, salad dressing. but we use it for other things. But you probably should be using a different type of oil to make your roux. And I also put some butter in my roux. All right, so I had some, is it the sunflower or soy that's in here? So I'm gonna put that in here. I think I'm gonna put, they usually put a nice bit of oil. So that's probably half a cup or 3/4 of a cup. All right, we're gonna let it come really hot, and this pot heats fast. So my challenge is gonna be to watch so I don't burn the roux. Get ready for my flour, and then you start stirring. And you stir until you get that beautiful chocolatey color. That is what a roux is. And you cannot be in a rush. All right? Medium heat, and then watch it. Once it starts smoking, you're ready. And you know, this thing, I gotta watch it because it heats up really fast. Oh, I'm out of coffee. Get the strainer ready for my roux, for my broth. Okay. I'm not putting any more flour in this. That's already bad enough for me. Woo! Show me the way. Did it go out again? I think I need more of this. No more tomatoes. The acid, I don't know. I have to wait and see. Okay. See, every so often I have to reset the stupid stove. Okay, it's ready. And then I'm going to turn it down. Then you see, when it starts bubbling, that's why you want the oil to be hot. And here come the stirring, and you stir, and you keep stirring. Now this is my cast iron. I have to watch the bottom so it doesn't burn. Not cast iron, Dutch oven. Why do I keep calling it cast iron? Yep. You gotta keep an eye on the bottom. But it is actually the best pot for this. Let's see, I'm watching the time to see if it's gonna take 20 minutes. I do need to this originated because that would be good trivia. Maybe trivia for my next party. Because last time we did trivia about Morocco, we learned a lot about Morocco. That was really lovely. Or we could do Colombia, Mexico. You know, I am a sucker for learning about different cultures. I love that. Did I put butter? I don't think I put butter in my roux. I said I was going to. Keep stirring. You can't be tired. This is not hard. It's boring. I met my sister in the lobby yesterday. She lives in this building, but I had kind of lost touch with her. She had some surgery and then she went away, and she's a chef. So she's like, I'm back to normal, Maggie. We need to get in the kitchen. So I would love it one day. One Sunday, I'm going to ask her if she wants to come and cook with me. And she's telling me all the yummy things she's cooked. And I said, and you ate it all by yourself, right? You know, it's just a light brown, but we want it to be like a chocolate. Now, it's not so liquidy because, you know, I see them putting a lot of oil, and I just can't. I think by the time I put a little oil with the veggies, a little oil with the fish, that's enough. All right? So we're looking for a dark chocolate color. So this would not be right. It's not ready. Okay? And remember, the flour, the roux is a thickener. So that's how you start with the roux, so that your gumbo is gonna be, you know, it doesn't have to be really, really thick, but it has to have that silky consistency, which is what the roux gives you. So you cannot rush it. Light brown, probably halfway. Take one, show me the way. Once the roux is done, we're just gonna pray that we get this to a boil, and then it's just a matter of getting everything incorporated, making sure that the crab and the okra are cooked. The okra again with the crab, 15 minutes. And then I guess I'll do a little rice. I'll start the rice once the roux is done and I have the broth in there, and then put the crab and the veggies, yes. And then the rice is gonna take 15 minutes too. So everything's gonna be done about the same time. Nope, not even close. Like I said, don't cry for me, Argentina. This is my thing. I love doing this. No, see, it's an exercise in patience. It's an exercise, you know, this is what you could let your kids do. It builds them to understand patience, to do something, to get something else. It would teach them delayed gratification. And for you, if you have anxiety, this definitely is going to help you, you know, relax. So it was maybe a cup, almost a cup of oil and a cup of flour. But I see them putting a lot more oil. Yes, it's getting there. The roux, the master. See. Oh, the Dutch oven is perfect for this, okay? So if you have a Dutch oven, if you want to make the roux, yes, this is it. But don't let it burn. The bottom will burn. And I used to hate it when the chef would come and it's like, start over, Maggie, start over. You burned the onion. And you still have the same amount of time to finish your dish. No bueno. Keep stirring. This went up a little bit because I was at 5. This is where if you wanted to take a break and come back, but you have to come back, okay? Because I can't rush this process. You can say, oh, come on, Maggie, put the liquid in. No, 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 no. You cannot do that. Si se puede. No, no se puede. Si se puede. Remember that movie I saw with the girl that used to play Ugly Betty? Mm-hmm. That Spanish girl. Yeah, but you know I don't watch TV anymore, so I don't know what's happening. They were showing this this actress, Theron or whatever they call her. That girl looked like skin and bone. I hope she's not ill. But of course, you know there was a lot of that resurgence of people wanting to look like they did when they were 15. I'm like, you can't do that to your body. That's dangerous. And why do you, so people can say, oh, she looks sexy. No, you don't. You look like a ghost. You look anorexic. That is a no bueno. Too much. That's what I was always against my kids when they were like, oh, they wanted to be in Hollywood. They wanted to be actors, you know. I was praying the opposite. And they said, oh, you just don't want us to succeed. I'm like, no, I know what that environment will do to you. So you go into your closet. I go in my closet. You just keep doing your thing. All right? Never forget to, stop praying for your kids. Doesn't matter how grown they are. Especially now. They're like minefields everywhere. Ooh. Ooh, Lord help us. And I always tell people, I believe the word that says some type of evil, you can only fight it with fasting and prayer. If you're not a praying person, you don't fast for something you need, I don't know what to tell you. But I know it has worked for me. These children, whew, you can't let go of them. I think it's starting to get a little darker. You see how long it's taken? That's me playing with the heat too. Take my, tell me the way. You're saying, why is your salad where I see those on TV a liquid? That's because they put that much oil. I am not putting that much oil in here. Nope. No lo voy a hacer. Oh yes, it's definitely getting darker. Maybe we're 5 minutes away. Ooh. Chocolatey coming up. Chocolatey. 7. We were up to 8. Don't let it burn. I am not putting all that oil in there. Oh yes. It is getting darker. You see that? But we're not using 2 cups of oil. No. Oh, we're almost there. Ooh. Because I'm going to put liquid in there. It's the thickener. That is your thickener. And then it takes out all the flour taste, right? So I'm going to put the broth in it a little bit at a time. Just to get the right consistency. Ooh, it's getting there. So when it gets to the color I want, I'm going to really reduce the heat and then start adding the broth. A little bit at a time. Oh, hot chocolate. Chocolate, chocolate. Not there yet. We're almost. Huele bien. Huele rico. Voila, voila, voila. You cannot rush this. I don't know how else to say that. Un minuto más. Un minuto. See, you can't rush this. I mean, there is no way you can rush this. Vámonos. Un poco más oscuro. Un poquito más. 30 minutos, 30 segundos más. All right, I'm going to turn the heat down. And then we're going to start introducing our broth. Yes. Muy bonito. Vámonos. All right, that's what you want. This is it. Chocolate. Chocolate. All right, I'm going to take it off the heat while I squeeze my broth, I strain my broth. So now it is perfect. That's what I want. But since I'm not going to be stirring, I don't want to lose what I've worked so hard for. Oh my goodness. Here it is. Okay. So now let's get the broth. Whew. Voila, voila, voila. All right. Now we are straining the broth that we just created with the shrimp head. Ooh, it's hot. So that's something else I'm going to put in a trash bag and take it straight to the dumpster. Ooh. So that can't help but be yummy. All that work to get the broth. All right. Now we are going to put going to introduce some of that liquid into into our roux. gonna give you that chocolatey mix. Woo. Now my heat is at 1. Oh yes. Oh yes. Mírame, mira. Ooh. You know, it's almost you think you're making mole, but you're not. Look at that. Now, oh my goodness, look at this. This is beautiful. Now let's get our heat up. And then I'm going to have to gauge if I need to top it up with a little bit more water that I have that has boiled. Oh, it came out so good. I am so proud. Oh, very good. So I'm going to put some water in this little pan and we're going to start the rice, which won't take much time. And then we have our veggies. Let's see if I need to put all of it. Yes, we do. Ooh-wee. I think I have to call my sister Diane saying, come and get a plate of this. Let's share this flour that I don't want to eat all by myself. Oh, it is so pretty. It came out perfect. The color. Ooh. Yes, I don't want that rosemary in here. Wow. That is so good. And then once you add the filet, the gumbo filet, then that's it. I don't need to thicken it anymore. Okay. So if I want it to cook fast, let me make sure that this is coming up. I'm going to cover it just for a little bit so I can make sure it comes to a boil a little bit faster. The shells are going to go in the trash. I need a bag to put it in. And let me not forget my gumbo and the crab. Very good. Remember, the rice I'm cooking is just to be able to mold some. So we're going to turn this up. A little bit of oil. Put my stuff back. Mr. Shear, I'm going to need some more. That goes there. That goes back here. Rosemary, I don't need. You know, I am Caribbean, but this is not the time to put that in there. I won't. But I am going to put some fresh thyme, do like a bouquet. Yeah, I can do a bouquet garni today. Yes. And my garlic. You know, when you're making gumbo, that roux is the challenge. So you're cooking online and you're like, I don't want to mess it up. And people say, oh, she doesn't know what she's doing, right? Like yesterday, I watched this guy make a gumbo. I was disgusted. And I'm like, oh, no, sir. That doesn't look right. But, I did not send a message or anything like that. No, come on. people make gumbo and then they're like, oh, gumbo. And I'm like, is that what it is? Looks like a soup to me. Yeah. You gotta take time to do the roux. Everybody will tell you the same thing. Chefs will tell you, take the time with the roux. You cannot rush it. If you're in a rush, make some soup. But don't call it gumbo. Get on my nerves. And of course your bouquet is just you're trying to build extra flavor. I mean, you got a lot of flavor going on in this thing. But let's do this. Let it come to a boil. And then we add our crab and our gumbo. And then that's it. The fish at the end. Oh. But of course I gotta doctor it up, make sure. Okay, the rice is almost ready. I think I have a little bit of rice. I try not to have a lot of it around because I don't want to be tempted to eat it. Let's see the shrimp. All right. It is. You wash the rice. Now you notice I didn't measure. Once you experience, you kind of know your proportion, right? All right. Bring the heat down a little bit. Almost, almost. Now, I prefer fresh okra, absolutely. But I didn't have a choice. So once it comes to a boil, we're going to add the okra and it's starting a little bit. Vamos. You do that to keep it from sticking to the bottom, right? Yes. Now, someone said, I think it was one of our sisters, she said she has trouble with the quinoa. And I was telling her, I had trouble in the beginning too. I couldn't get my, what do you call those things? To open up, the grains to open up. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? To this day, I can tell you what I was doing wrong. I kept at it, and I'm like, oh, no. I'm going to win this battle. And I did. Come on. Almost there. Ooh, it gives you that huele bien. It gives you that smell, that chocolatey, nutty. Oh my gosh. And this lady says, you know what, I can't help but throw that Scotch bonnet in there. I can't help myself. All right, let's put some of my stuff away. Got oil, hot sauce. They talked about Worcestershire. You add to that Creole seasoning, which I don't have, but I do have the, what is that? Harissa leaves. What's the harissa? What is it again? Sassafras. Sassafras leaf. Oh my gosh. That's the filet. So if anybody's coming in, bring some more gumbo filet. Or I'm gonna try to see if they have it at, I'm not gonna order just that on Amazon, of course. Alright. So let's put our okra. Now the okra is half frozen, so it's gonna make it go down again. So I think that's enough. Yeah. More than enough, like half a cup to a cup. So now I'm gonna have to, I bought some other fish this morning, so I'll be able to cook that. Then I'm gonna put some of my crab in there. Ooh, that's a big claw. I'm gonna need that for, as a garnish. Yes. Is there another claw? We'll use the 2 claws to decorate our plate. And I want more. And the rest of it, I am going to bag and freeze. All right, so let's go ahead and close that. Let it come back to a boil. I'm gonna put our okra in, and I need a bag. Yes. Who invented baggies? That was the best thing ever. So I know I have extra for the next dish. Now I already have a Scotch bonnet pepper in there, but you think I'm gonna let this beauty go to waste? Absolutely not. Yes. Whew. So when you go to a restaurant, when you go to New Orleans and you order gumbo, show a little bit of empathy because it's taken them a lot of a lot of work. So I am going to cover my rice. This is when it's like that. You know, if you struggle with rice, you don't let it get all the way. Where is my cover? Okay. Oh, there it is. Right? And then you cover it. Some people put foil. You can if you want to. I don't need to. So I put it down on 3. Usually that's. So now this is, I have my crab. This is baby arugula. That's when I bought arugula. I absolutely love arugula. You know I don't like lettuce, so arugula is my choice of green. Oh my God, you guys should see this freezer. It's crazy. It's like way to the top. Only just little poor me, and I don't really cook during the week. Mm-mm. I buy sardines, I get the greens, but the challenge is to find something to cook with the greens. So all this stuff goes back in. Oh yeah. Ooh, chocolatey. Ooh, it's good. All right. Now it's definitely gonna need some acid to counteract the nuttiness. So which bowl we're gonna use to plate this? This is too deep. This is my poke dish. But you can put the in here. You can put the gumbo in here, or you could use the big plate that's got the metal. You could, like a funnel. You could use either one of those, even though this probably you want it to be a little deeper, because you need a bit of height, but that definitely wouldn't work. And I refuse to buy any more plates. Nope. That is not a serving dish, so we're not going to put the plate back. All right. Whew. And remember, these still gonna have to go towards the end, the fish. Yum. All right. We have 10 more minutes. I'll answer your questions if you have any right now, because all my hard work is done. Or the labor of love, right? I love looking at the different colors of food in your dishes. Oh, thank you. It makes the food look, well, yeah. Remember what I always say, we eat with our eyes, right? I'm getting some water. Whew, really good. It was part of a food preparation program to encourage children to eat more fruits. Oh, that's good. Yeah. And I strongly believe that kids will embrace the habits that they see demonstrated at home. If you eat healthy, wholesome food, your kids will. Now, when they go to college, a lot of them just eat junk food, and it is just such a terrible thing. And of course, the food in those places is not healthy. But like if you have a child at college and she decides to go off campus where they're going to have to cook their own food, if she has a roommate or whatever, they can still be encouraged to eat healthy, right? So, but now, when I think back of what I used to cook at home, I'm horrified, because I was doing a lot of things to save time. So I was eating a lot of packaged food. I remember buying the kids, the little pizza things, right? You remember Hot Pockets? I could have bought stock in Hot Pockets. Because, with 3 kids, I was, when you put a Hot Pocket in there, and a bag of chips, you think you were doing something good. And it was like, oh. And remember the Capri Sun, remember Capri Sun? And Kool-Aid with the food coloring. I'm just so embarrassed. And I said, Lord, what was I doing to these kids and what I was feeding them, right? So it wasn't no bueno. But anyway, happy Sunday. Who's that? Amy, hi, how are you? Yeah. But even here, as retirees, I can tell you, a lot of people, they're the highlight of their day is to go to this restaurant, that restaurant, that restaurant. And I'm like, I just don't do that. You know, I started a series on my channel. I'm going to be showing different neighborhoods, but other creators are doing the same thing too. It's amazing how one person start doing something and everybody doing the same thing. It's really comical. But I'm doing different things, and a lot of times when you say what you're going to do on your channel, then somebody just takes it and runs with it. And it's like, so you have to remember. You have to remember not to talk about your ideas. It's amazing. It's amazing. But the sisters whose day in life revolves around visiting all, that this sister said, their group, their goal is to visit every single coffee shop. Now, I don't have anything about coffee shop because I love coffee. I'm a coffee snob. But restaurants, that's money. That's money to keep going here and there, here and there. I'm not interested. I can cook. So I prefer, and then the problem with me is that I love my own cooking. That is a no bueno. That is a no bueno. All right, now that it's boiling, I'm uncovering it because I don't want it to get too much moisture and get thinner. I just want the, it's got a nice silky texture. Okay, and I'm gonna go back down again. We're gonna let it cook, and so now it's gonna be looking at the taste. Oof, don't drop this phone. If it falls on the floor, it's gonna shatter. Right? This is what you want your gumbo to look like. If you did your job and you worked on the roux, okay? It's not gonna get like that chocolatey flavor if you didn't do the roux, because that's what gives it to you. All right? Ooh, yeah. All right. But for me, what we look at, we say there's a name for it when you can do that thing on your finger. I forgot what they call it. There's a culinary term. So this needs to cook down a little bit. And if it's not exactly the consistency I want, cornstarch to the rescue. Even though some people may not tell you they do that when they're doing it, on TV, but listen, me. Ooh, I am open. I'm an open book. So I think I'm going to put a little bit more adobo. This is where I'm going to play with my flavors, okay? Make sure it's seasoned right. I believe I did not put any cumin. I love cumin, and cumin is always to the rescue for me. So I'm going to put some. I am also going to squeeze some lime juice. Remember, for me, lime is just a flavor stabilizer. Yes. Ooh. Oh. It's getting there. Just needs to cook down. And of course, when you add the fish, you're going to have all the flavor of the fish permeating that. Poquito más ácido. Acid, yes. Fresh lime juice will brighten the dish. Don't need the pulp. Alright, let's see. I gotta hide my cardamom somewhere else. Alright, some paprika. Like I told you, paprika is one of those. It's like black pepper. You can put it in almost anything. And that Worcestershire sauce, which is not to be confused with my soy sauce. And some people talk about putting some fish sauce. I don't have fish sauce, but I can put some of that sesame oil, a little bit. A little bit goes a long way when it comes to sesame oil. It is pungent. All right, and thyme. I have fresh thyme in there. Remember, I have a bouquet garni. Want this to... It's playing this game again where it doesn't get hot. That's why some people prefer gas, because you really have a lot more control with your gas. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, but it needs now more salt. So we're gonna put some salt. But I had not put any salt in it. I'm definitely gonna thicken this a little bit more. And we have to put the gumbo filet. Poquito más. All right, I have to chop some. I'm gonna take the bouquet garni out, and I'm gonna chop some parsley. Ooh. Chopped parsley. I'm gonna take this out too. It's done its thing. I think there's another one in here. I think the gumbo is good. The crab should be good. So let's do the parsley, and then we're gonna put the fish, and then we're gonna put the shrimp last. Remember, the shrimp is the one that you don't want to overcook, otherwise it turns to rubber. Rubber. No bueno. Now I want you to know this is a labor of love. I'm doing all this for you guys because for me, if it was me, I don't want my food that complicated. I like my food simple, you know, like a salad, and do some fish in there and do it easy. Easy does it. But you need fresh parsley. Oh, now it's deciding to boil. Make my day so in the way. On Saturdays, they have a program here where they show old salsa videos. I love that because I love salsa. Oh, in the end of the month, I am going to a concert with Romeo Santos. Do you know him? He's from Dominican Republic. He's kind of a sexy guy. And he's going to come here with Prince Roy, who is a cutie pie. And I got myself some tickets. I cannot believe I did that. All right, so let's add the harissa, whatever that thing is. I can't remember the name of it. The filet. It's supposed to be a thickener, but I know it's not going to be enough. So I am going to be doing my due diligence and add a little bit of cornstarch just because I can. Thicken it the way I want and then throw my fish in there and voila. Of course, I'm going to put a little bit of Monte au beurre just to give it that little silky shine. Oh my God, my roux. Wow, that is amazing. So when you see somebody serving you gumbo and it's all red, you got to question it. Question it. I watched this Asian lady, I think she's Korean, you know, with the parents. She cooks all kind of things for her parents. Yesterday she did Haitian food. It was so cute. And the way she's feeding her parents, I worry that they're going to develop, you know, our trusted illnesses, diabetes and hypertension, by eating all this. Ooh. But she had Jamaican food one time, and she did all Haitian. She made griot, she made all kinds of things. I was like, I did send her a message. It says, somebody taught you very well done. She made pickles. You're kidding me? She's Korean. You know, Haitian food is getting a rebirth, I don't know, where people... All right, let's see. Is it thickening? All right, so now let's put our fish in. Ooh, I didn't want the liquid, but it got in. Ooh. Ooh, it's getting there. It needs a little bit more cornstarch, but boy, look at that. Does it cover my spoon? Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. Mmm. Mmm. So good. Wow. I think it's pretty good there. Yes. I think the consistency is good. But when you're plating it, you want it to have a little bit more body. All right, so I'm doing a little bit more. Remember, cornstarch is not going to affect the taste of your food. It is flavorless, thank goodness. Whoever came up with that. Well, you see, it made a big old pot, right? I could have put more okra in, but that's okay. Too late for that. But yes, it's there. Like I said, your cooks will not tell you that they put a little bit of cornstarch in there. But you know, I'm transparent. I'm telling you, I put it in. Very good. Now our shrimp goes in. I don't want the liquid. Woo! So I got to taste one of them. This one's for me. Wow. My gosh. Turn it down, Maggie. Wow, wow, wow. Gumbo is done. My. Okay, listen. You saw the labor of love, right? Ooh. And you do this. This is what you're looking for. Yes. It's good right there. So I'm going to add a little butter. But you know what? It's missing some hot sauce. Let me put some sriracha. Because even though I put my, I didn't put the Scotch bonnet, open it up. So I need a little bit of heat. Wow, wow, wow. Oh yeah, I need to call my sister and say, come get some of this gumbo. Wow. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. This is amazing. All right. A little bit of butter, monte au beurre. Well, I'm part French, what can I tell you? Butter is not the enemy for us. My cholesterol was really good last time I took it. I had labs. It was definitely less than 200. Ooh. Yes, I'm gonna turn. Let me check the rice. Let's see everything happening at the same time. Here is the rice. You flake it. And then this sister was saying, she used a rice cooker. Rice cooker brings the rice out perfect, but I am my own rice cooker. So that's good right there. Whew. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-mm-mm. 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 Oh my goodness. Alright. Mmm. This phone is always out of charge. What is wrong with you? Video. And the gumbo is done. Oh, the fish, the okra, the crab. It took a good 3 hours, so this is a labor of love. All right, we're done. All right, so I did a video. Now let me take a picture. All right. So now we are going to plate this gumbo. Now, of course, it's always best to let it sit for a little while, but we don't have that luxury. I've kept you up here long enough. So, we're going to serve the gumbo with this because it's like, it's a ladle, we call that. Filet, gumbo filet. I cleaned my oven the other day, but I didn't have easy off. I guess that's another thing. I need somebody to bring easy off. All right, so for the rice, yeah, we're gonna use this little ramekin. I have some lime bites in it, so I'm gonna pour that in here. Then use this one. Okay. So Going to get the rice. Put the rice in. Bring the beet in. Bring the rice in. That would make a good, what do they call that? Sushi. When you're making sushi, all right? So this is gonna go the plate was next to the gumbo, so it got some gumbo splashed on it, so I have to get it nice and clean. So we are going to put our rice in the middle. And we're gonna bring, see, it's not deep enough. Ay, 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 ay. Okay, well, we're gonna have to use what we have, okay? So I gotta make sure I don't splash the rice when I put the gumbo down. Yeah, you need a dish that is a bit deeper. Ooh. Take my hand, show me the way. And I need a piece of one of the claws to put as a decor. Oh, it's hot. Let's put it right there. Ooh. Oh. All right, plate one. And of course you could chop a little bit of parsley. I'll do it on both. But this plate is really not the best because it's not deep enough. But, so we're gonna do the same thing. I think I'm going to just put the rice, kind of sprinkle it on top. So I don't want to plate the same way. So let's plate this one a bit differently. This is where I get to play. It's in the plating, okay? This is what gumbo is supposed to look like. Yes. Don't get the copycat. If it's not dark, it wasn't prepared correctly. Oh my goodness. Look at that. And then I'm just gonna take some of the rice and just, I don't want to say sprinkle. Just gonna put it over here so it's not centralized like the other one. And it will be a lot easier to just mix it in. Bring the beat in. Oh. Oh my gosh. Maggie, Maggie, Maggie. I think I'm waiting for somebody to call me and say, we would like you to be on our cooking show. Don't make me, you know, fight for, give you strange stuff and tell me to come up with something. No, that's not what I mean. That is not what I mean. So now we're going to chop some parsley. And voila! I am so happy with the way it turned out. Look at that. That's crocky, that's a beauty. Okay? So as I said, next time you go, you ask for gumbo and they give you real gumbo, talk to the chef and tell him thank you, or her. Because that is a labor of love, okay? But of course, you know, they have people working, they have chefs who are just doing the prep. I was doing that when I was at Disney. It takes all of us to give you this type of outcome. There we go. Sprinkle, sprinkle, little sprinkle, little star. How I wonder where you are. Oh my goodness. Wow. Okay. We are done. Wow, I am so happy. Here is the gumbo. Gumbo, gumbo. So this is a better presentation than this one. This one looked like a hot mess. It's like spread around on the plate. But still, as I said, this is what your gumbo should look like. Okay? Wouldn't you dig in that? Wouldn't you? Yes. And it's fresh, it's homemade, nothing artificial, right? It smells amazing. It smells amazing. I'm so proud of myself. I am. But I think this one, I wanted you to see the whole process because it takes time. You got to create the broth. You have to clean your fish. Of course, you can start the day before. You could do certain things before. But hey, I wanted you to see the whole thing. Okay? Wouldn't take long before it was gone. Yeah, you know, I think I'm going to call that sister who wanted to have some of my food and say, you better come and get it. Otherwise, it's all going to be gone. Maggie's going to eat up. All right, guys. Thank you for hanging in there. You're the soldiers, right? But you saw how like this lady said, she saw how to clean a crab. It's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Crab, and finding that blue crab, those blue crab, that was amazing. And they were good. Usually they're like really small and they're like they've been sitting there for a while. These were fresh. Yes. All right. Thank you so much, you guys. Have a beautiful day. It's 1 o'clock, so I had you for 3 hours. I knew it would take that long, but mea culpa, but it's for a good cause. All right? So thank you for your time and your attention. I hope you learned something today. And God loves you. You know I love you. Bye.